how I managed to finally get an FC RX-7. The story is quite funny in a way. A few years ago I was talking with some guy in Greece. He was based in Thessaloniki and he had a red FD for sale. The interesting fact about his FD was that it was a left-hand drive car, which is quite rare nowadays, especially in Europe. At the time I really didn't have the money to buy that car. He was asking for like 15,000 grand for the car, which was quite a decent price if I look back at it. And one day I was just like browsing on Facebook and I get this message that it's Xeno's birthday, and I'm like, hey Xeno, happy birthday, what's up? Look, I'm trying to buy a car. Do you know of any RX-7s for sale? And he goes like, yeah, one of my friends is actually selling an FC RX-7, a Turbo 2 FC RX-7. I was okay, so can you put me in contact with the guy? And the next thing you know, I was just talking to Georgos in Paros. He's based on an island in Greece, somewhere in the middle. Before actually flying to Greece, Georgos sent me a lot of photos and videos of the car, and when I saw the first video of the car driving, I was really impressed. I've seen a lot of cars and I've ridden a lot of nice cars over the years, but thinking that I could actually finally own a Mazda RX-7 and a Turbo 2 for that matter really tingled my senses, so to say. Because of the downpipe, the car is pretty loud and it makes all the right noises. And the first time I really rode shotgun with Georgos driving, I knew that there was no going back. I would buy the car. The next day I actually got to drive the car myself. Even flipped it sideways while Georgos was a bit concerned in the right seat, and yeah, and then I just made the preparations for the road. It was almost the 1st of December, so it was just a couple of days before the 1st of December. It was snowing hard along the road. We installed winter tires, we fixed the wipers, we did a few tweaks and changes to the car so it can withstand the road. Actually had to drive for about 1400 kilometers from Paros to Bucharest in Romania. That also involved going on a ferry for 4 hours from Paros to Athens, and then a 2-day drive all the way to Bucharest with a quick stop in Thessaloniki. I was really worried at first because I didn't really know if the Rotary engine, the RX-7, can be driven for such a long distance. And going on some forums and asking some people, I noticed that a lot of people have actually driven the car for longer distances, and I decided to go against Jorgo's recommendation of putting the car on the train all the way from Athens to Thessaloniki, and I went with driving the car for the whole distance. The first time when I landed in Athens, like when I got off the boat in Athens, I realized the size of the journey I was taking on, because the clutch was a bit twitchy, so to say. First gear would be a difficult drive because the pedal would just get stuck to the floor, and I had the risk of actually killing the engine. I mean, not killing it, but stalling the engine. And it was 6 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday evening. No, it was a Thursday evening, and everyone was getting out from work. The traffic was absolutely it was a disaster. It was crazy. Like I managed to stall the car twice in the middle of two large intersections, and everyone was honking at me because obviously I was on Greek numbers, so nobody really knew that I had no clue on where I should go next. Even if I had the GPS system on, it was still a tricky drive. With the car being fitted with a bucket seat, in the first 60 or 70 kilometers I started experiencing some mild backache, which actually went away after a while, and I started getting more comfortable with the car. I still hadn't pushed it at that time. I was still going 3000 RPM tops, not trying to force the engine in any way. But that didn't really last long, because the first time I stopped for a toll booth, I floored it from start, for a rolling start. I went in first, second and third, and yeah, I was just laughing all the way through the first, second and third gear. The noise, man, the noise that car makes is just, it's hard to describe in simple words. You can look at videos, you can hear it coming, but if you're inside the car, it's a totally different experience. It's a totally different feeling, a totally different vibe you get from actually hearing the downpipe and the exhaust working together, and all the pops and bangs and all the right noises basically.